reminder, John Robertson will bring us all the news from East End Park. That should be a belter up there, Dunfermline Athletic against Ross County. But it's time now for our first commentary of the day. Aberdeen against Dundee with Richard Foster and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Welcome to Pittodrie as Aberdeen seek to make amends for a pretty dismal showing against Dundee by knocking the same opponents out of the League Cup. Stephen Presley's side will be keen to continue though where they left off last weekend as they aim for a 4th consecutive victory over Aberdeen. We're just about ready to get up and running. Quite a good way short of a full house, it has to be said, at Pittodrie. Stephen Robinson was keen to underline there, it's just 1 defeat in 6, but perhaps the manner of some of the victories hasn't been altogether as impressive as some of the fans would like. It will be Dundee to get us underway here, and they do so now. They're kicking from left to right as we look at it from the back of the main stand here at Pittodrie, and interesting to see how Aberdeen do respond to the criticism that has come their way. Richard, just you're immediately pointing out Aberdeen's lineup, which we were deliberating over. Olasanya through the middle with Kevin Nisbet. It looks like a 4-4-2. Is that your take on it?
Yeah, you ran off the left and Taylor off the right. You see them there. It's pretty simple. Dundee have got the ball and they're 2 banks of 4 with the 2 strikers up top. So a little tweak to the system. Probably feel that it gives them more chance to go after Dundee and probably stop them building into the game like they did last week, because once they got going they were very, very good.
Yeah, so we'll see how that system works out for the Dons. Intello making his debut, and Stephen Robinson making the point during the week that he's equally comfortable either through the middle as a striker or off the flank. So he's playing off the right with Olasanya, who's kind of occupied that role up until today, playing a far more central role alongside Kevin Nisbet, pretty much as a striking partnership up there, as the ball's played off an Aberdeen player and out for a Dundee throw in deep in their own territory.
See their intent early there, Al. Aberdeen push Guinness Walker up into the front line, so they've got a front 5 when the goalkeeper's got the ball, so it looks like they're going to go fairly direct and try and work play off second balls.
Dundee have got the throw in then to be taken by Dre Wright, and at right back again for the visitors as Simon Murray and then Charlie Riley combine, but then it's knocked down by Happy for Chris Cadden, who just rolls it back to the goalkeeper Marius Muller, still sporting that face mask to protect some sort of injury, as Joe Bevan picks up a wonderful performance from him, a goal and an assist last week against the Dons, and well, he looked very, very impressive on that right flank for Dundee. It's the visitors who have possession, knocking it back to the goalkeeper just on his goal line almost, taking a moment or two to take a touch under pressure from Olasanya, but Dundee managed to play it forward, and it's out on this right hand side just down below us, midway inside the Aberdeen half, and it will be a Dundee throw-in once more to be taken by the versatile Dre Wright. He goes back to the halfway line to Astley, and then Owen Bevan makes the angle for him just a little bit deeper, and then he'll fire it out to the left hand side looking for Riley, just a little bit too much elevation on it, and out for a throw-in over on the far side. 0-0 after just under 3 minutes as Mayo turns it back to his goalkeeper, who first time knocks it long. Olasanya battling away there with Owen Bevan, the referee happy to let that one go. It was a good physical battle that Bevan came out on top on, and the referee incidentally this afternoon, Nick Walsh, with Grant Irvin on VAR duty. Here's Astley on the halfway line. Dundee seen a lot of the ball early on as Wright plays it forward for Bevan, back with Wright midway inside the Dons half, right hand side. Finnegan into Hamilton. Hamilton just turns away from Ronan, Back to Odetayo, who lifts it forward, looking for Riley. Good first touch. Early ball in, comes off Cadden and behind for a corner. Though Riley was claiming the handball. Didn't look like it to me, but it will be a Dundee corner and a positive start from the visitors, Richard.
Yeah, they're moving the ball really well, 1 and 2 touch. They get the early switch of the ball, and great movement from Charlie Riley. He just dips down towards the ball and spins in behind, and you know, it's a decent enough cross, well defended by Aberdeen, but gives Dundee a chance to load the box.
So they've got this first corner kick of the game then to be taken on the left hand side, not before Nick Walsh has a warning for a couple of players about holding, and then he's going to have another word. It's Ryan Astley who seems to be the focus of his attention there. He's been marked by Dan Happy. Let's see what Dundee can do with this corner kick from the left hand side. To be taken by Riley, swings it into the near post, well defended there by the new signing in Tello, but it's directed back out to Riley, who'll get another opportunity to swing it in. Back post ball's a good one, and Bevan couldn't make the most of it. Well, that's an opportunity there for Joe Bevan, because he ghosted into the back post. Guinness Walker couldn't reach it, but he just misjudged it seemed, as it came over the defender, and it goes behind for an Aberdeen goal kick. 5 minutes in, Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, just when the ball comes back out from the corner, Aberdeen don't reset. I think it looks like Guinness Walker's marking Murray, but then Murray just kind of wanders off, and Bevan's round the back, and he should probably go with his head, and it's an easier pass from across the goal, but Aberdeen get away with one there because they weren't organised from the set play.
Here come Dundee again. It is Bevan on the right hand side looking to take on Guinness Walker and get the ball into the middle. So swept away by Happy, but it's the opposition.
Those are the moments, Al, that causes panic. So the ball's bouncing kindly to Happy there. If he hooks that with his left foot, he can get up near the halfway line. He throws his right foot at it because he's too afraid, and he puts it out right down near the within the width of the box. So this is going to get thrown right into the box. Whereas it just adds pressure. Just take a bit of composure and clear the ball properly.
Astley, it will be about 10 yards from the corner flag, right hand side, to launch this one in. It doesn't really get a proper purchase on it, and it's flicked on by his central defensive partner Bevan, but straight behind for a goal kick. 6 minutes in and still goalless, but the visitors certainly having the better of the early play here, as Ronan for Aberdeen though tries to switch play out to Yogan, who had such a impressive season on loan at Dundee last year, yet to really get started with Aberdeen, despite having started all but one so far.
He actually made that quite easy for Astley there, because he ran in really narrow. If he stays in the touchline, that ball probably makes its way all the way over to him, especially as he's 1v1 with the centre-back.
It's picked up in the midfield by the home side. Ronan for Cadden, about 10 yards inside his own half. Forward ball doesn't find its target, and then Tello Odetayo can only nod it down to Ronan. And Aberdeen trying to come forward down that right hand side, failing to really make any headway though, and Hamilton's able to drive Dundee forward. It's a big figure for them in midfield. The ball clipped forward by Wright, just a little bit too much on it for Bevan, and it skips through to Marius Muller in the Aberdeen goal, immediately out to Guinness Walker. He was looking there for a Remu in the middle of the park, but it actually came rather fortuitously to Nisbet, and now it's back with Ronan just inside his own half. 7.5 played. No goals for the Dons, who are all in red this afternoon. Dundee with the navy tops, white shorts and navy socks. And now it's Yogan, left hand side, skips away from Finnegan. Good ball into Arema, about 25 yards from goal. Eyes up a shot, then plays it into Olasanya. Back to Nisbet, tried to shape the shot, it's well blocked. Out to Cadden, now Ronan. Cadden once more on the right hand side, into the area it comes. Olasanya working hard, tries to get the shot off. Odetayo makes the block, behind for an Aberdeen corner. Better from the home side.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just a couple of times there I thought Remu could have actually shot, but he plays a brilliant pass into the middle of the box. It looks to me as something they've actually thought about. The Dundee defenders drop off the strikers, allows those passes into feet, because the ball comes into Olasanya the same a couple of seconds later, and he tries to get the shot away and it goes out for the corner. But much better from Aberdeen, a bit of controlled possession, and try to probe into the Dundee box.
It'll be Conor Ronan, the Irishman, to take the corner kick from the right hand side, right footed. So he out swinger onto the edge of the 6 yard box. It's met by a Dundee defender. Comes out to Aremu, left-hand side of the area. Swings it back in. That's not a bad-looking ball either, but again, it's well defended this time by Hamilton. Ronan collects again. Now Ntello into the area. Again, as Dundee head is first to it. Picked up by Aremu once more, but 30 yards from goal, right-hand side. He's going for goal this time, and he got a hold of that. It's a good stop, actually, from Owen Goodman. That was aiming for a top corner. Really caught it well, having declined to shoot just a moment ago, as Richard said. But on that occasion, he really tested Goodman, but it does remain Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, it's decent individual play there from Aremu, but I think the goalkeeper does really well because he just starts to get his position right. As Aremu drifts a little bit wider, the goalkeeper moves his feet to make that save look much easier than it actually was.
Dundee trying to make some headway down the right-hand side. Bevan's actually managed to get hold of the ball under pressure from Guinness Walker, who looked favourite to get there. And Dundee have won themselves a throw-in. Good contest so far. Almost 10 minutes on the clock, no goals. But both sides now having made forays into the opposition box. And Astley will look to do that again here with the long throw-in. Didn't really get a hold of the last one, rather slipped out of his grasp. Let's see what he can manage here. He's not got a massive run up. He has to bend his back, arch it back the way over the front of the stand. It's Happy that meets it. It's a good clearing header that time from the towering centre back. And Dundee regroup here with Oritayo on the halfway line, looking to step away from Olisanya. Olisanya sticks the foot in, not once but twice, and wins the ball. And Ronan's there to collect. Good working back there from Olisanya. And now it's back with Muller, who goes first time long onto the head of Owen Bevan. And now picked up by Finnegan. Hamilton taking over for Dundee for Oritayo, just inside his own half. Good crowd has made its way up from Dundee, you'd have to say, over on that far side, having enjoyed what they've seen in recent times from their team. As Bevan now, Joe Bevan, right-hand side, just tucks it back the way for Drewright, gets out of his feet, then he sends it in. Good header cleared by Happy once again, using his height to his advantage there before either Wesley or Murray, or indeed Finnegan, who had all made their way into the box, could get on the end of it. Dundee, again, putting a few passes together, very composed under Stephen Presley, as Oritayo switches it out now to the right-hand side for Bevan once more. Lovely first touch on the left thigh. Now he's up against Guinness Walker, tries to curl it into the box, comes off both Yogan and Guinness Walker, behind for a Dundee corner. It's end-to-end this, and it's a good watch so far.
It's an old-school 4-4-2 via 4-4-2. It's, you know, I would love to see Bevan just go at him 1v1 there. He's got Guinness Walker on the back foot. I know he's left-sided, but I think just go at him in the box. He does okay, tries a cross, and he gets a corner from it. But I think because of the switch of play so good, Yogan's not able to get back and double up, and even then when he does, they slide the ball back to Drewright, who puts in that earlier cross with good quality. So, but I would love wingers just to go at the fullback and cause him problems.
Charlie Riley, the winger from the left-hand side, has come across to the right to take this out-swinging corner from the right-hand side. And it comes. Finnegan's up there. And it breaks to Hamilton, who can't get a clean header. And Aberdeen work it out of the box. Comes back to Drewright. Again, tries to switch it back to Riley. First time ball comes off Ronan, not once but twice. Second time square in the face. That looked like a sore one from close range, and he'll need a moment here. Just being checked by the referee Nick Walsh, because that was only a yard or so away from Charlie Riley as he tried to knock it into the box. And he's going to get another corner here, Charlie Riley, after Conor Ronan put himself in the way. So Dundee looking for the opening goal here. 12.5 played, as Riley, right-footed, swings it out the way once again. It's poked towards goal. Nisbet just in front of his keeper gets the header clear, and then Aremu thumps it over the halfway line, and it'll be picked up here by Goodman, who's almost at the edge of the centre circle. He plays it forward again. Olisanya's first to it. Hamilton claimed for a handball, and the referee says yes, and Aberdeen will get a free kick about 10 yards inside their own half.
Doesn't really complain there, but I think he's quite unlucky. It looks like it hits him in the side. But I think Charlie Riley's obviously put in 2 decent deliveries, but they're obviously targeting Astley, but he's been picked up by Happy. For me, if I'm Astley, I'm just wandering to the back post or out the box to try and drag Aberdeen's biggest defender away from the ball, because the quality's been good in the corner, but it's a tough ask to get a free header against Happy.
Here he is, playing the ball forward down the left channel. It's a good ball as well. Olasanya will get there first, and he's in on goal. It's Olasanya from a tight angle, good stop from Goodman at his near post as well. Comes back out to Yogan left hand side, and he goes down under the challenge from Dre Wright, which was an unfair one, says the referee, and that will be a free kick to the Dons on the left hand side. And for all Dundee's positive play, it's Aberdeen have had the best 2 chances of the game.
Absolutely, and it just comes from Happy. You're putting the ball down the channel. You've got Olasanya and, to be fair, Yogan's there as well, who are just willing to run. Good change of pace. I would just, Nisbet he's a bit slow to react, and by the time he does get there, he's only there for the cutback. Whereas if he goes as soon as Olasanya's in, Olasanya could possibly square it to him. But good save from the goalkeeper from a tight angle. But just that willingness to run in behind from Aberdeen.
Here's Ronan with the free kick from the left-hand side. It's a good ball, but it's somehow gone all the way through. The referee spotted an infringement in there. It's Simon Murray who's gone down, and it's a Dundee free kick. There were some claims for a handball from the Aberdeen players, but the referee's given a free kick to Dundee. Let's head to East End Park and hear on the early stages of that one from John Robertson.
Yeah, it's Dunfermline 0, Ross County 0. Both managers will be hugely frustrated, but for different reasons. Neil Lennon's Dunfermline have not got out the traps at all, and the home fans are letting them know it. Ross County could be at least 3-0 up already. Brian Graham in the first minute.
Yep.
Brilliant. They played down the side with Lindsay, and McCarville cut it back. Brian Graham mishit it from about 8 yards straight at the goalkeeper. 2 minutes later, as a big man again, a free kick was thrown at the back, and there was Lewis Reid heading it down to him. He smashed it straight at Oxenborough. 2 minutes after that, free kick from Ross County. Jamie Lindsay rattled it past the wall, past the keeper, hit the post, come out, and then a brilliant run from Adam Emsley ended with them smashing the ball across the 6-yard line with 3 Ross County players trying to get on the end of it. They just couldn't get there. So Stuart Kettle will be hugely frustrated that his sides are not at least 2, maybe 3 ahead. But after 15, it's Dunfermline 0, Ross County 0.
Thanks, John. Still 0-0 here as well at Pittodrie, and Dundee have got a throw in deep in the Aberdeen area. It's Hamilton left hand side who's won the corner off Cadden. Charlie Riley, incidentally, just as John was talking, he very innocuously, the ball had gone out for that throw in, and he just was kind of jogging to get the ball and seemed to turn his ankle slightly when he was off the pitch, and he's still feeling the effects of that, although he's about to take this corner kick. But hopefully that is something he can shake off, because he's a player who's started the season very well, but he's been really troubled by injury since signing for Dundee. He's taken this corner short to Finnegan, left hand side, offers himself again, but it comes out to Hamilton. First time ball to the back post. Auditayo can't get anything on it, and it's going to drift harmlessly behind for the Aberdeen goal kick. Almost 17 on the clock, and it's Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, he actually just he rolled his ankle on the between the track and the AstroTurf that the linesmen run up and down, which would have been a terrible way for him to have to leave the game. But Charlie's a player I know well. We had him at Thistle. Great quality, probably physically just wasn't quite ready. I think he dropped down to Albion Rovers, I believe, before coming to Dundee. So fantastic story that sometimes you have to take a step back to then take a step forward, but he's been excellent so far this season. He's a clever football player. He's not a winger who's going to hug the touchline. He likes to wander, he likes to move. He's got an absolute thunderbolt of a strike on him with his right foot. But the two fullbacks in Aberdeen they're causing their own problems. When the ball comes forward, they're not dealing with the ball early. They're allowing it to bounce. They're allowing the Charlie Riley and Bevan on the other side to get their body in to make it awkward. And Dundee are nicking throw-ins high up, which has then led to throw-ins into the box or corners. So the fullbacks need to just deal with the ball when they can. I think the last one there, Cadden actually lets the ball go and lets it bounce. Just go and head the thing, and you clear the danger.
Aberdeen have it halfway line. It's Guinness Walker back to Happy, who plays it forward down the left. Right is there before Yogan, and Dundee pick up once more. Poked back to Auditayo by Ethan Hamilton, and then turned back to the edge of the box to Owen Bevan. Dundee, I think Stephen Presley mentioning it pre-match, their squad does still look, as much as they've played well so far this season, could do with a few additions to the squad just to give them a bit more depth. But certainly the players like Owen Bevan that have come in already this summer have looked good additions. There's Bevan again, tussling with Olasanya. It's going to break there for Ntelu, and now Yogan. Oh, he's barged to the ground there by Finnegan. It's just clumsy from the Dundee midfielder, who's wrong side of the winger, and it's another free kick in a decent position. This for Aberdeen, what, about 25, maybe slightly more than that from goal, left of centre, but it's definitely an opportunity here for Ronan to deliver into the box. And it's one of those ones, Richard, that can either take a nick off anyone, or actually sometimes it can go all the way through and fool the goalkeeper.
Yeah, you imagine from there he's aiming to try and curl it into the back post himself, and to get runners across, because the goalkeeper can't move until it's beyond any player.
Here he is trying to do exactly that. It's maybe going a little bit too, but it's happy to get the header in. Oh, how is that not being turned into the back of the net? I think a free kick has been given in the end, but how someone has not turned that into the net across the 6-yard box.
He gives a free kick for the block by Yogan, so Happy spins round the back, and Yogan, but he's too obvious with the block. He's facing the player. If you watch it here, he's facing the player, he's facing Hamilton, and he blocks him. Whereas if I mean, how Nisbet misses it, I don't know, but if Yogan there just stands side on and just uses his shoulder, then I think he gets away with it. Now, Aberdeen haven't scored anyway, but it's too obvious with the block. It was a well-worked free kick. Yeah,
should still have been turned into the back of the net either way, shouldn't it? Anyway, here's Olasanya. Aberdeen have pinched it into the box. He goes down. Goal kick, the referee is pointing for. As Aberdeen asked the question.
Yeah, it's a goal. It's a dive. He throws himself to the ground. Just put the ball across. Put the ball across the goal. He's waiting for the contact, but there's not enough, and he throws himself to the floor. I never understand that, Al. He's in control of the ball. He's ahead of the defender. You can flash that across the goal, and you throw yourself to the ground. There's just not enough in it. You see it again here. We're kind of blocked out with that pillar.
Yeah, VAR were very quick to confirm it. I did think that the defender put his leg.
He's allowed to make contact.
No,
though.
I know. Anyway, nothing given. 20 played here at Pittodrie, 0-0, but a decent contest thus far. Aberdeen have certainly upped their game from last weekend so far, but Dundee also looking dangerous at times without having troubled the goalkeeper as yet. They'll try and do so here as Riley rolls it back to Oritayo, left-hand side, back with Riley, midway inside the Aberdeen half. Gets it back again from Murray. Murray picks up possession, goes for goal. It comes off Westley. Aberdeen just eventually managed to get it clear as Bevan takes a chance here against Olasanya, and he's lost it, and it's Olasanya in for the opening goal. Denied by the goalkeeper again. Brilliant save from Owen Goodman, but Olasanya will feel he should have been tucking that away, having done the hard work to win it in the first instance. But Goodman digs Bevan out of a hole by turning it wide. Brilliant block from the keeper. Still 0-0.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not a foul. Olasanya just uses his strength. Bevan he should just clear the ball. He's trying to play. He takes too long. Olasanya nicks it, but then he slows down. If he goes at a bit of pace, he could probably run round the goalkeeper. He's also got Nisbet, I think, coming up to his left-hand side, who he never even looks at. But he seems to take far too long. But the goalkeeper gives him. You know what? Actually, the goalkeeper does very, very well there. But I still think he should be getting that in the net.
Corner kick, right-hand side. Ronan takes to the near post, tipped over the crossbar. I think it was probably heading over in any event, but Goodman wasn't taking any chances as the header came in. I think was it Happy that got on the end of it. Certainly is a terrific target for Aberdeen from these set pieces, but Goodman just knocking that over the crossbar just in case, and Aberdeen will have another corner kick here. Quarter of the game gone as Ronan prepares another outswinger from the right hand side. A deeper one this time. Wesley's first to it. It's going to come though to a Remu, left angle of the box. Now it's Yogan taking over on the right foot, swings it into the back post. Happy still up there, nods it down. Ashley half clear. Happy's keeping it alive. Ashley clear again. Happy can't get on it a third time as Bevan got in his way, and then Murray picks up deep in his own area and manages to squeeze it through to Wesley. Could have fallen to an Aberdeen player and that would have been dangerous, but Dundee still have it, and it's Finnegan just rolling it back to Bevan and now Astley as Dundee bring it clear, but that was a decent spell of pressure from Aberdeen, but just unable to get the opening goal, which could make all the difference.
Yeah, but you hear the crowd, you hear the lift they've got just by applying a bit of pressure to Dundee and putting a goal under a bit of pressure. I mean, how on earth Dundee lose Happy in the box like 3 times there to win headers? I mean, he's 6'5".
Here's Joe Bevan trying to get the better here of Guinness Walker, who does well, and eventually it's a goal kick. Did really well actually that time, the fullback. Not only did he get himself in front of Joe Bevan to win the ball, he then backheeled it off the winger and won the goal kick. And so with almost 24 played at Pittodrie, it's still Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0.
Yeah, and that'll give the fullback a bit of confidence. He obviously had a tough time last week, but I think 1v1 in terms of pace, I don't think Bevan's going to run away from him. Strength-wise, it looks like an even match, so I think he can be a bit more assertive with his 1v1 defending, because you see there that he's more than a match for Bevan when he does.
And flicked the ball out of play there from the goal kick. It will be a throw into Dundee, taken by Drewright back the way to Astley. And he plays it back to Bevan on the edge of his own penalty area. Now Oduchayo out to the left-hand side. Dundee are good at that. They play it round the back and then out the other side, and now all of a sudden Simon Murray's in on goal. He just goes down under a little bit of pressure, but well, almost like Olusanya before him, but actually even worse, because he doesn't even get the shot away. He slows himself down, and Simon Murray at his absolute peak is burying that effort. I think it's his first touch. He doesn't get a good enough first touch away, and then he's always kind of waiting for the ball, and I just think he loses his foot, and I don't think he's dived there. But it actually comes from a fantastic pass from Charlie Riley. So the ball goes wide, he steps inside on his right foot. Simon Murray drags the defender down, spins in behind, and he's just got I think he's got to go and take a touch, possibly with his head, to get it out in front of him. The ball slows down and Happy gets back, and then he just loses his footing. Yeah. Simon Murray will still feel he should have done a lot better with that opportunity. But yeah, I've noticed that about Dundee a couple of times already this season. They do like to play the ball from right to left, left to right at the back, and then the ball goes forward. And Simon Murray was in on goal, but for the failure to get the ball out from under his feet and get the shot off. Drewright shot with his pass there. Aberdeen have nicked it just inside their own half. Down goes Guinness Walker. Good challenge though from Finnegan, who is another of those ones who's made a real impact since coming in the summer. Forward for Wesley. Down goes Murray again at the edge of the box.
There, I think. That didn't look good.
Yeah, he was in a bit of pain. His play continues. Now the referee is going to stop play.
This might be a bad one, Al. I hate to say it. He's holding his left knee. Just didn't look very nice at all. Yeah, it's one of those ones that, you know, that I don't think there's actually any contact with an opposition player. It's just maybe catching the studs in the turf or something, and well, yeah, it's his left knee. Doesn't look good at all. Just kind of jars it, doesn't he, as the ball comes into him. They're signalling for the stretcher.
Yeah, that looks like game over for Simon Murray. Hopefully that is not as bad as it looks initially. Simon Murray been such a talisman for Dundee since signing for them, but it's just the way he kind of plants his leg, and hopefully the veteran striker, who does look to be in a fair amount of pain down there, still waiting on the stretcher to come. Here it comes now, and Aberdeen are going to have to make the change. Sorry, Dundee are going to have to make the change here.
It's Finlay Robertson that's getting warmed up, or getting stripped.
You know, that'll be, you'd have to imagine a slight change of formation if it is Finlay Robertson, midfielder. As some of Simon Murray's Dundee colleagues go and just check on him, but there are plenty of medics there. They seem to want something else, not just the stretcher. They perhaps trying to keep the leg
Yeah,
steady.
they'll need to brace that.
Yeah, but certainly a sight we hate to see. Football ground's an inevitable part of the game at times. But Simon Murray, remember he suffered a cruciate injury a few years back. I think it was when he was out in South Africa, and certainly we hope there's no recurrence of that. But it didn't look good when he went down with no player having touched him, and Dundee will indeed have to make the change and probably have to just reshuffle somewhat. But it has been a pretty good. It's almost half an hour on the clock, and it's been pretty hard fought, pretty competitive. Aberdeen will certainly be more pleased than they were at this stage last weekend.
Yeah, and I think you hear the response from Aberdeen fans. You know, like in the early part of the game, the biggest cheer we had was when Olasanya came back and he nicked the ball off someone in midfield just by putting pressure on them, and the fans respond to that. So as much as we say there's a great expectation at this club, and there is, they respond to you just working hard and putting your body in and, you know, fighting for the ball and taking the ball off your opponent. So Aberdeen have done that far better today. It's been an open game. There's been a lot of 1v1 duels across the pitch. You know, there's been a bit of goal-mouth action. You know, Olasanya for me definitely should score. Simon Murray, if he takes a better touch, has got a much better chance. So the game's been open, it's been end to end. It'll be different now if Dundee are changing and having an extra man in midfield. Aberdeen will need to make sure that the distance between their defence and their midfield is quite small, so that they can't get the 10 to wander in there and get the ball. It will be interesting to see how they set up. I don't like the ironic cheers from the Aberdeen fans as Simon Murray's getting stretchered off here. There you go, the rest of them are clapping right now. That's what you want to hear from opposition fans. Yeah,
no, I mean, to be fair, most of the stadium is applauding Simon Murray off on the stretcher as Finn Robertson prepares to come on. So Simon Murray heading straight down the tunnel, and I would suspect straight up to hospital if it's as serious as it looks at the moment. So there's going to be a fair amount of stoppage time at the end of this first period. Still goalless at East End Park in the other second round match. We'll get another update from John Robertson, no doubt. Certainly if there's any major incidents to report, but Robertson still waiting to come on. I mean, Simon Murray technically still is on the pitch, but you think they would just let Finn Robertson come on, and at last he is allowed to make his entrance. So let's see where he is pretty much going right up alongside Joe Wesley. He's a talented footballer, pretty versatile. I haven't seen him playing up front before, I have to say. Very two-footed. And play resumes after a lengthy old stoppage, and we wish Simon Murray well as Muller launches it down the right-hand side. It'll be kept in there by Tello, who's not had too many opportunities in this first period on his debut to get involved, but he's got a throw in for the side over on the far side. Cadden takes it back the way to Mayo, and then further back to Happy, into Aremu on the halfway line, just spins back and gives it to Mayo once more, forward in that right channel. Odetayo nods it down, and Tello in his first to it, right hand side, just sold Ronan a little bit short, who in turn puts Mayo in a bit of bother, but out of play on that far side off Mayo in the end. Former Kilmarnock man who got his first goal for his new club, the equaliser here against Hearts, which then led to a late winner, as the ball's back in the possession of Owen Goodman, who's had to look lively on 2 or 3 occasions already this afternoon to keep Aberdeen at bay, which he's managed to do so successfully, as Owen Bevan just looked a little bit hesitant again, having lost out to Olasanya a few minutes ago. And Goodman on that occasion bailing his defender out. Here come Dundee over the halfway line. It's Astley out to right on the right hand side, rolls it into the feet of Joe Bevan. Bevan well challenged by Guinness Walker. Fullback's done well again. Bevan stays down as Aberdeen come forward. Nisbet looking to play Guinness Walker down the left-hand side once more. Swings it to the back post. Bit of chasing there for Cadden to do to keep it in right-hand side. Joe Bevan stayed down here. As the ball comes back into the box. A chance here for Olasanya. Keeper saved it again. Somehow it must be over the line, surely. And the assistant referee is now given an offside.
It doesn't go over the line either, Al.
Oh, that's incredible.
The goalie, so Olasanya swings and misses it, and then the goalkeeper, Goodman, he slaps it onto Olasanya's head, and then the defender clears it off the line. But brilliant initial play from Guinness White. Again, you see the confidence just to take the player on. It's a poor cross in the end from him, but Cadden, I think it is. Cadden redeems it. He lays it back to Ronan. Who's offside?
It's Olasanya.
Yeah,
Olasanya's
Olasanya's
when
offside,
the ball comes in, yeah.
But he should be putting that in the net. I think Bevan here, I think it's his studs. I think Guinness Walker took the ball off him and stepped forward, I think his studs clipped the top of his head, it seems like.
Yeah, he stayed down as if he's taken some sort of head knock for sure. And he's now been treated by the Dundee Merricks, who have been busy in the last few minutes. But how Olasanya hasn't scored, albeit I think he would have been offside from the initial ball in, and how it's not crossed the line
even then
is kind of beyond me.
Astley on the line, actually, he tries to clear it, but gets his feet caught up and misses it, and it just dribbles across the line.
Let's head to East End then to hear if there have been any goals or anything for John Robertson to shout about.
Still no goals, but I tell you what, Ross County should be streets ahead here at the moment. Dunfermline have come back in the game. They're trying to get their passing game going, but it looks fractured at the moment. It's just not quite the well-oiled machine from last year. They got in behind a brilliant ball from Robinson, got Todd in behind, he cut it back, and Chris Kane's near post flick was easily caught by Brad Foster. Then Ross County went up the park the other end, and a poor header for Kearney. It looked like he was trying to cushion it back to his goalkeeper. All he did was knock it down for Jamie Lindsay, and he hammered a shot which was a brilliant Donnelly block from 6 yards. So Ross County have had 4-5 really decent opportunities. They should be well ahead in this game, but it's still 0-0. Dunfermline are playing back at net, but the crowd and one Neil Lennon are very, very frustrated at the moment, but it's still goalless.
Thanks, John.
That's his thigh. He actually catches him in the head with his thigh as he steps past him.
Yeah,
sore one.
He's still looking a little bit groggy down there, Joe Bevan, as the doctors look on. There's like 5 different people attending to him, including one of the Aberdeen physios, I guess perhaps because maybe the Dundee doctor has gone down the tunnel with Simon Murray, but they'll be checking, certainly they'll do the concussion checks on him before he's allowed to come back. The 4th official is also just checking on him. Joe Bevan looks like he will be okay to continue as play resumes. It's still goalless, but it's been there's been plenty to talk about, but Aberdeen have had a host of chances to score, but somehow have failed to do so as they come forward here again. Bevan using his physicality there against Olasanya, which is easier said than done. He's a strong guy himself, Olasanya, but he was knocked to the ground there fairly in the referee's view.
Yeah, it's just brilliant timing. He waits for Olasanya to start to move and be a bit off balance, and just gives him a little bump, which makes it look like a much stronger contact than it was.
Here's Robertson at the other end, but Guinness Walker steps in and rolls it back to his goalkeeper. Oh my word, the goalkeeper has just cleared the ball with a Rabona from inside his 6-yard box. I honestly cannot believe.
What is he doing?
That is incredible. I mean, it's not like he was under no pressure.
I mean, fair play to him. He gets,
that's a good one.
He gets it 40 yards, but he's obviously not that keen on kicking the ball with his left foot, but that was absolutely ridiculous or brilliant. I don't know which one.
Audacious is the word that springs to mind as the Dundee player down again. This is getting a bit ridiculous here. It's Ryan Finnegan who's down on this occasion in the middle of the park. It will be a Dundee free kick.
But again, that situation comes because Guinness Walker doesn't want to head the ball. He lets the ball bounce, he gives himself more problems, he puts it back to his goalkeeper who, very nonchalantly just Rabonas it 40 yards away.
Ball comes into the Aberdeen area, nodded away by Astley inadvertently. Odetayo picks up though, left-hand side. Back to Riley, who's just caught there, is he, by Montello. Certainly the referees bought it.
No,
Riley,
absolutely not.
No?
Montello just runs through him. It's actually Riley that makes the contact. That he gets lucky there because Aberdeen are away, I think.
He kind of throws himself up in the air to exaggerate.
He makes it look, he makes it a lot worse. But all that Montello's done there is just run. If you watch it here, look, he just runs through him. What?
Yeah. Here come Dundee, free kick quickly taken, not a great ball though from Riley, and out for a goal kick. I mean, that's one that you so often see though, given the way it was given.
Absolutely, but if you think about it, Charlie Riley kicks him.
Yeah.
But he made the most of it, and the referee bought it.
So goal kick to Aberdeen.
Wonder how he's going to take this.
Well, exactly. The goalkeeper. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you surely that's going to be clipped up and put on social media. It's quite something from the Aberdeen goalkeeper. Maybe he was getting a little bit bored. He hasn't seen a lot of action, but you'd imagine he'd be more pleased than anything about that as Dundee threatened to put themselves in trouble at the back. It's right, and then thumped clear by Bevan, and the one for Wesley to chase. Out comes the keeper, and it's a more conventional thump up the park, this time from Muller, but Dundee are picked up on that, and it's Robertson releasing Riley, left-hand side. Just over 5 to the interval plus stoppage time. Riley slips it for Robertson again, left-hand side of the box. Back to Riley once more. Rolls it back to Odetayo. Odetayo on to Hamilton. Too much in that pass for Riley, who just manages to keep it in. Back with Owen Bevan. Now Odetayo. Dundee are having to go back the way. Well, a bit of a coming together on the halfway line. The referee annoys just about everyone in the stadium by pointing in Dundee's favour there.
Yes.
And then Astley comes through the back of Olasanya, and the ironic jeers in the background, and cheers are because Nick Walsh has given that free kick to Aberdeen.
Yeah, I thought Aberdeen had a real opportunity to go and press there. And then it's a 50-50 in the middle of the pitch. It probably is just a free kick to Dundee. I think Olasanya's he has been, he's absolutely been splattered there. That's definitely a foul.
So the free kick to the home side, just a few yards inside the Dundee half. Olasanya's getting a bit of a dressing down from Nick Walsh. I think there was a bit of dissent there after the free kick was given. I think Olasanya feels he's talked himself into the referee's notebook. He's given a warning, and he's obviously kept at it, and now the referee's shown him a yellow card. So Stephen Robinson will be pretty angry if that comes back to bite him, but the free kick's taken and it's defended well, and now Joe Bevan's bringing it forward for Dundee. Guinness Walker with a terrific challenge, sliding in and taking that off the toes of Bevan, and Aberdeen have it back. It's Ronan midway inside his own half, playing that forward, looking for Yogan, who's too strong for right. Yogan left-hand side of the box. What can he provide here? Cuts it back, looking for Nisbet. Great challenge, Odetayo, to slide in and make sure it didn't get there. It's an important one as well.
Yeah, it's a fantastic tackle because Nisbet's walking onto that. I know Nisbet likes that cutback, but I just want that ball fired right across the 6-yard box. Make the Dundee players defend right in front of their goal, because anyone can knock it in. When you cut back like that, you give the defender a chance to go and make the block. It's still a fantastic block, but just flash the ball across the 6-yard box. I think Aberdeen had 2 players in there to go and try and finish it.
Throw in Dundee then. 0-0 here, and 0-0 East End Park in the other cup tie that's kicked off at 3 o'clock after Kilmarnock had already booked their place in the quarter-finals with a pulsating derby win last night against Ayr United. Aberdeen get themselves another free kick here, which has been taken. Guinness Walker a little bit hesitant. Now he goes back to the goalkeeper, and Muller just at the edge of his own penalty area. Ronan came and asked for the ball. Muller says, no, it's okay, I'll take care of this, and then he launches it long, looking for Yogan. Dre Wright just lets the ball come over him though, and out comes Goodman, who's had a good first half, made some good saves, to keep the scoreline blank. Muller at the other end has had little to do other than a Rabona clearance. As Goodman launches it over the halfway line, Cadden gets his head to it into the feet of Nisbet. Nisbet just clips that, looking for Olisanya. Too much on it. Ashley back to the keeper and back to Ashley once more, and then Ashley fires it forward. Guinness Walker can't stretch. Joe Bevan. He's in. Joe Bevan is going to get there first. It's Joe Bevan. Can he open his score? Good save from Muller. Spread himself well. Robertson on the rebound. Inside the penalty area still, and Happy just manages to get the clearance. Well, hesitancy initially in the Aberdeen backline allows Bevan in, but the goalkeeper bails Guinness Walker and Happy out there.
I see Happy's looking at the goalkeeper. For me, the goalkeeper can't come for that. Guinness Walker's another ball that he doesn't deal with. Just go and deal with the early ball. He leaves it, and to be fair to Bevan, he's in and he does really well to keep his balance, but it's a fantastic save from the goalkeeper, so he bails out his defender there. You can just see that in terms of a straight race, Happy's got nothing on Bevan, so as soon as you see that happening, you know that the attacker's in there, and but a good save from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, first he's had to make, as we hear there's going to be 7 minutes added on for the injury, mainly the treatment of the time it took to get Simon Murray off the park, as Yogan picks up left hand side. Back to Guinness Walker, gets away from Bevan himself this time. He's been pulled back, and Aberdeen get a free kick. They've had a few in this kind of left hand side position in an advanced area. Can they make something of it on the stroke of half time, or just got a few seconds left in the initial 45?
Yeah, again, good play again from Guinness Walker there. Positive play, stepping on the front foot, and pulled back there, and another dangerous free kick,
which will be taken by Ronan. Swings it to the back post. Out comes the keeper. It's a good take. Takes all the pressure off his side, but arguably the delivery from Ronan was too close to him in the first instance, as Guinness Walker deals with the clearance, but he's played it into the path of Robertson, left hand side. He'll swing it into the box. Wesley goes and attacks it just wide with the header.
I tell you what,
he's away.
It's a fantastic cross in. Wesley's movement's brilliant. He's outside Guinness Walker. He dips back inside him. Can't get enough on the header, but it's another one where Cadden doesn't help Guinness Walker there. They're both looking at each other. He just doesn't look like he likes heading the ball, Guinness Walker, because he can go and head that. I think Cadden could help him out by probably deepening off. He doesn't look entirely comfortable in those defensive moments, but again, for all the good work that Guinness Walker's done 1v1 against Bevan and the stuff he stepped forward, he doesn't defend situations properly, and he gives himself more problems.
Here's Ronan. Well, chances at either end. It's goalless at half-time at East End Park. We'll get a full half-time report from John Robertson at half-time in this one, which is still a few minutes away. We've only played one of the additional 7 minutes. Unfortunately, Simon Murray picking up what looks like it might be a bad injury and stretchered off during this first period, so a bit of a delay there, as Muller, who's made a couple of good saves now, and puts that straight on the head of Owen Bevan. Happy taking a poor first touch, but Wesley can't quite close him down in time, and he gets it cleared as Happy. That's a little bit cumbersome from him though, out to the right hand side. It's kept in by Intello, but he's given it straight to Riley, who cuts in off that left hand side. Back comes Cadden. Well timed challenge, because he was coming in from the wrong side, but manages to hook his foot round the Dundee player and win the ball. And now here come Aberdeen. It's Intello, but it's a good challenge also by Finnegan, but maybe Intello just needs to be a bit more aware that the challenge is coming in and get the pass played quicker. It's going to be an Aberdeen corner, still 0-0, but it's been a good game, Richard Foster.
Absolutely fantastic little kind of double phase of play there. Cadden's too high initially, but his recovery pace is fantastic. The challenge is brilliant, even better than the challenge. The pass then into Intello in that 10 position, and just run across. If you run across a defender, he can't touch you, but he slows down. Looks like he's a bit unsure of what he wants to do, and another fantastic tackle results in the corner,
which will be taken by Conor Ronan, right hand side. Outswinger to the near post, won by Owen Bevan. Comes back out to Ronan. He's going to cross that once more. Bevan gets his head to it. Nisbet goes for goal. It's blocked by Wesley. Terrific block by the striker. Comes back to Nisbet once more. Aremu sends it back out for Ronan, who just chests it down here for Yogan. Yogan takes a heavy looking touch, but he manages to keep possession just outside the box. In Nisbet, plays it square here for Aremu. He's going to be going for goal. Good save from Goodman down to his left. It's still in play. Ronan back into the middle. Chested away by Hamilton and then hooked away by Robertson. So many chances. Can't believe we've not had a goal here. It's another good stop from Goodman to deny Aremu. There's been a couple of them. Back into the Dundee box it comes. Nisbet can't make a clean contact. Claims he was maybe impeded there, but nothing given as Dundee clear the lines. Still 0-0, but tell me how, Richard.
I have no idea. Fantastic play from Aberdeen, keeping the ball alive. Aremu can, you know, once he unleashes that ball, he can fairly hit them. Good save from the goalkeeper to keep it alive. They put the ball back in. It's actually really good defending to stop Nisbet getting on the end of the ball because he's there. And good defending, but fantastic end-to-end game. Great entertainment, but we could have at least had about 3 or 4 goals in this game already.
Absolutely. Still not quite at the end of this first half. Got 3 minutes maybe still of stoppage time to play as Aremu picks up for Aberdeen once more, slides it into Nisbet. Clever dummy from him, but Olisanya can't profit and it's knocked away from him.
He's got to be alive to that, Al.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Joe Bevan coming out the other end trying to punish them, but too much in the pass for Wesley, and out comes the keeper sliding out.
I tell you what, it's a poor pass from Bevan. If he plays that wider, Wesley's in. He's got the run unhappy there, he's in, and you can see Wesley's by his reaction, he was raging.
Here come Aberdeen again. Left hand side, Guinness Walker turns back away from Joe Bevan, gives it to Conor Ronan, midway inside the Dundee half. Left hand side, Guinness Walker again, crossing opportunity, near post, glancing header from Olisanya, didn't get enough on it to direct it goalwards. Then he looks at a teammate to say, oh, why weren't you making a run back post? But I think he was really going for goal himself.
He absolutely was, but he's got a point. They just, from where Olisanya is, it's a really tough header to score from.
Yellow card coming here from Happy as he slid right through the back of Wesley.
That's worthy of a yellow.
Free kick to Dundee just inside their own half. So Happy joins Olisanya in the book. No goals in this first period, but a really good watch and far more even contest than last week's was, as Stephen Presley just sits down his little notebook, jotting down a few things to stay at half-time. Stephen Robinson, as usual, is still poised. Like a coil spring in the edge of his technical area as Owen Bevan wins the header at the edge of the Aberdeen box, but no Dundee player can get on the end of it, and it's back in the arms of Muller. We are just about in the final minute of injury time here. It's Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0, and a really exciting League Cup second round match. Aremu out to Guinness Walker. The goalless scoreline doesn't begin to tell the story as Drewright plays it forwards to Finnegan and infield to Robertson. Robertson out to the left hand side looking for Riley. Is there a goal in this half yet? He's running against Cadden here and he slips it. Oh, he's looking for Robertson. He just misjudged it, but it's swiped behind by Guinness Walker. Dundee will have a late first half corner here.
See, that's the difference with having Finlay Robertson on and Simon Murray. He'll drop into those little pockets of space, into that 10 space. He turns, he plays a fantastic ball out to Charlie, and unfortunately for Charlie, his pass is just a bit too heavy. You know, similar to Aremu on the other side, I want Charlie to come in and go and hit that. Like I said before the game, he's got a thunderous shot, but he's always looking for the pass. I think if he misses him out and goes back post, I think Joe Bevan is there. But yeah, good positive play from Dundee again.
Here they come then with the final few seconds ticking away the first half. It's Riley with the corner left hand side. Players hitting the deck in that penalty area as it's cleared by the Aberdeen back line. Drewright back out to Riley. Is there a chance to get it back in before the half-time whistle sounds? And it comes. Guinness Walker with the header clear, and there is the half-time whistle. Well, it's goalless here at Pittodrie at half-time, but goodness only knows how Aberdeen, much better certainly than last weekend at Dens Park, and actually had much the better of the early opportunities. Aremu had a shot well saved from distance. Goodman really quite busy in this first period. Had to be pretty sharp to deny Olisanya at the near post, then produced a really good save coming out of his off his line to deny Olisanya, who'd burst through on goal, but good save on that occasion from the goalkeeper. Simon Murray was played in on goal but couldn't get his shot away, and that was pretty much his last act. He went off on a stretcher shortly afterwards in what looked like it might be a pretty nasty injury. We hope not, and we'll bring you news of that as soon as we have it. Olazanya had another opportunity, he's had a few, but was ultimately offside in any case. And then Dundee, just before half-time really, began to create some opportunities of their own. Joe Bevan managed to get himself in on goal but was denied by Muller. A really good save from the Aberdeen keeper, and then Wesley headed just wide of the post from a Finn Robertson cross before at the other end again. Remu had a good effort, well saved by Goodman, pushed away to his left-hand side. So plenty of action in this first period, but no goals to report at half-time in the League Cup second round. It's Aberdeen 0, Dundee 0.
The Scottish League Cup.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. A really decent first half, as the guys were saying there at Pittodrie. We'll get the thoughts of Andy Halliday and Tom English in a few minutes' time. Let's get to the other tie that's taking place at 3 o'clock. John Robertson's at East End Park for us. Dunfermline Athletic against Ross County. What's happening, John?
And a little bit like Pittodrie, gentlemen, there's lots of chances, just no goals so far. How Ross County are not well ahead in this game beggars belief, because they come out the traps unbelievably well. McCarville and Randall carved open the Pars defence, cut the ball back after just 2 minutes. Brian Graham's shot was mishit and it was straight at Oxborough. 2 minutes later, Brian Graham again, there was a free kick to the back post. It was headed down and he smashed the rebound down. It hit Oxborough, it was scrambled away. The 6th minute, Jamie Lindsay had a 25-yard free kick right past Oxborough, hit the inside the post, came out. Then Emsley beat two men on the left-hand side, whipped one right across along the 6-yard line with a couple of Ross County players sliding in, couldn't get there at all. Turner Docherty had shots blocked at the edge of the box as the Staggies really came out. In fact, it took 25 minutes for a very frustrated Dunfermline crowd to see their first action there. They got Andy Todd in behind, he cut it back. Chris Kane at the near post flick was well saved by Foster, but they were Ross County were nearly gifted the opening goal as they went up the other end of the park. The ball came to Kearney, he tried to cushion a header back to his keeper, he left it short. Jamie Lindsay ran in, and from nowhere Aaron Donnelly came in and slid in and blocked Lindsay's goal-bound effort. Pars went down the other end again. They started to get the influential Andy Todd into the match. He ghosted past two players brilliantly and brought out the best save of the match so far from Brad Foster, who beat it down low to his right with Ollie Shaw just missing the rebound coming in. And then Todd again got in behind the county defence and smashed one across to the face of the goals, which Akil Wright done brilliantly well to knock past for a corner. So the games, Dunfermline were starting to come into it towards the end, but that first half hour Ross County should have been 2, maybe 3 goals ahead. Both managers will be hugely frustrated for different reasons. Entertaining game, but as it's Pittodrie, it's 0-0.
Good stuff, thank you to John Robertson. So goal is now 2 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier Sports Cup. Remember, 5:45 start at Tannadice, Dundee United against Celtic. There will be option of commentary from that one, or you can tune into our fan zone. That's also live on YouTube, BBC Scottish Football. You can get your comments in on that, but plenty of options for you later in the day. We'll talk you through that when it gets nearer that time. Elsewhere in Scotland today in League One, Alloa Athletic 2, Montrose 0, East Kilbride 0, Cove Rangers 0, Hamilton Accies 1, Airdrie 0, Peterhead 0, East Fife 0, and in League 2, Annan Athletic 1, Clyde 1, Dumbarton 0, Edinburgh City 2, Elgin City 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Forth Athletic 2, Stirling Albion 0, Stranraer 0, Spartans 0. So Andy Halliday and Tom English alongside me in the studio. That's been a really good game, as the guys were saying, Andy, at Pittodrie. So many chances.
It has. It's been a brilliant game. Aberdeen have been much improved for the performance last week, but Dundee are still well in the game. I think it's a game that's finally in the balance. Really disappointed to see that injury for Simon Murray. That, you know, when a player goes down with no contact or no opposition player near him, you always feel the worst. So hoping we get better news than we think it's potentially be. But listen, 2 3 o'clock games, we've had everything but goals. We've even had a Rabona for a goalkeeper. And that was unbelievable.
That's going to go nuts on social media.
No wonder.
How do you think Stephen Robinson takes to his goalkeepers doing Rabonas?
Well, it depends how the result goes. But I would like him to be asked about it at the end.
to be fair to the goalkeeper, a few minutes after the Rabona, he is a good save from Bevan. So if you could do a Rabona as long as you're making saves.
Yeah, I mean, actually, what I would say is Aberdeen, as you say, so much better today. I think still look pretty dodgy at the back. Dundee, they've had their chances. It could go all the way this one.
I think Aberdeen actually, what they're struggling with at this moment in time is just balls over the top. Now I know Dundee have got plenty pace and that firepower at the top end of the pitch with Joe Bevan, but I think routine balls, they're either getting caught under the ball or they're misjudging the flight, but Joe Bevan's looking dangerous over on that right hand side. For Dundee's perspective, I think they need to try and get the ball to Charlie Riley and Joe Bevan as much as they possibly can. But there's no doubt whatsoever that Aberdeen are much improved than what they were last week. But you can't really predict anything at this moment in time. It could go either way.
Yeah.
Like Bevan was electrifying last week, and Riley was very good as well. But as you're saying, Andy, neither of them are really that involved. Bevan had the chance. He flies in behind Gideon Walker, gets a shot away, it's saved. But over the course of the half, both of them are relatively quiet compared to the damage they were doing last week. So Aberdeen have shored that up. They've created a number of chances. I think they've 5 shots on target. Dundee's 1. So they have an attacking threat. They just don't have the quality there.
Yeah, Richard, you spoke beforehand when I asked you to look down the team sheet. You talked about so many new signings for the home side. Who's impressed so far for you?
There's been a few, but Aremu in the middle of the pitch has been very good, very composed. He's unleashed a few strikes. Clever football player. He's always looking for that forward pass into his front players. I think he's been really good. Who's it on the other side? Ntello. I just want him to stay on the ball a little bit more. I know it's his debut, and there'll be an element of nerves there, but go and stay on the ball a little bit more, and go and try and be positive, and go and try and show the Aberdeen fans what you can do, because what you'll get is, and what you heard at half time, is the applause and the cheers for the Aberdeen team, because they've shown a huge improvement, and they've been entertaining, they've been attacking, they've created chances. I think to be fit, you've got to give a lot of credit to Guinness Walker. Now Andy's right, I spoke about it in commentary, he's causing us a lot of his own problems because he's not going to deal with the ball in the air. It looks like he's very uncomfortable heading the ball. Any kind of long ball, he's not dominant, he won't go and hit it. I don't think he's getting a lot of help from inside him, from Happy. He looks quite nervous in terms of the ball down the side. Great up and down, he'll go and head things, dominant, but when the ball slipped down the side of him, he doesn't look too impressive there. But I think Guinness Walker, is 1v1 defending against Bevan has been much better. He's been more aggressive. He's actually starting to take Bevan the other way and make him, I think he's earned a few free kicks running forward. So I think the difference in him, although he could still tidy up a little bit in terms of the defensive situations, going and being a bit more dominant, a bit more aggressive, I think the 1v1 defending and then his breaking forward from there has been much more impressive, certainly, than it was last week.
Richard, you touched on the atmosphere there and the support that the Aberdeen players are getting. Tell us a little bit about that. What's the vibe there from the Aberdeen fans? We talked about Stephen Robinson before the game.
Yeah, they seem in good spirits. Right. They've had their mumps and moans and grumbles maybe when they've missed that final pass, or they can't quite believe how the ball's not ended up in the net a couple of times, which Al and I are kind of right in that boat with them, because you guys have watched it, the situations, even if it was offside, the ball should have been in the net a couple of times. But Tom, about 15 minutes into the game, Olasanya runs back into midfield, he barges the midfielder off the ball, turns, takes the ball, and there's a huge cheer from the Aberdeen fans. So they are willing to get behind the team. But the Aberdeen players have to give them something, which they have done in that first half. And there was a lot of positivity. You're looking about just now, and obviously they're just chatting away, but there's no remonstrating, there's no moaning. It seems like it's a good atmosphere here today, because they're getting on the pitch what they expect. Yes, they lack quality at times in the final third, but I think there's an acceptance of that if you're willing to run beyond, win tackles, win headers, make recovery tackles, and just actually make Dundee have to work for anything they get in the game.
Yeah, Richard, there's been a bit of criticism, we said, about the style of play of Stephen Robinson, but there's that one move that eventually was cleared for the corner where they cut through Dundee right through the middle, maybe about 35 minutes. It was a great move.
But this is, you know, we can go on and you can pontificate for as long as we want about the style of play, and I keep hearing the phrase the right way to play football. Well, football is score more goals than your opponent, so if you do that, you've done it the right way, in my opinion. So for me, both teams have got a real mixture. Sometimes it's just spinning behind, play long, pick up the second balls and go and play. Sometimes it's can we play through the thirds. You know, Dundee have slightly changed now with Finlay Robinson coming in, because he doesn't stay up on the last line like Simon Murray. So a couple of times midfielders have got the ball or fullbacks have got the ball, and he drops into that little 10 pocket, gets the ball, turns and plays out the other side. So there's both teams for me are doing everything. They're going long, they're winning second balls, they're winning headers, they're playing passes, they're trying to play into feet, they're trying to play in behind, they're running in behind, they're making runs off the ball. That to me is what football is. You know, at one point I was so shocked, I was away to turn to Al, Aberdeen get a goal kick and the goalie just puts it down and kicks it out to the nearest player. And I was like, wow, I've not seen that in years. Usually it's like, let's all get in our structure and all get in our shape. But before you knew it, the ball was down and Cadden's feet and we're playing. And that's what the whole game from both teams been that. Hence the reason I think it's been so entertaining. There's never really been a period when teams have went, oh, you know what, I'm a bit tired, we've been running about a bit, and we're going to slow it down and keep the ball, and you know, none of that. It's if we play one or two passes at the back and the other team press, we'll play in behind them, we'll chase after it.
I'm interested.
And both teams have been doing the same.
I'm interested to see, Fozzie, if there's going to be a couple of tactical tweaks, in particular Stephen Presley, because for me what they were so good at last week at Dens was putting pressure on Aberdeen's back four when they had the ball, whereas I think today it's been a bit too easy since Finlay Robertson's came on the pitch. Obviously they've lost the two up front. For Aberdeen centre halves to have that little bit more time, or the fullbacks have a little bit more time on the ball, allow Aberdeen to get five up in the back line and then play that long ball. So I think they've actually lost that little bit of pressure at the top end of the pitch that they had last week. It'll be interesting to see how Stephen Presley tries to rectify that. I
think you're right, but I think the fact that Aberdeen are not trying to play slow passes into midfield and short passes, and they are content with going long to Olasanya and to the wide guys, you know, you kind of lose. You know, you lose a bit of intent when you're the forward player, because you're going, I'm going to press here, and he's just playing it long, and then I need to run back. So I think there's an element of both. Simon Murray going off, of course, you don't get that same pressure in the back line, but also they're getting nothing from it. They're getting, not once have they looked like they're going to nick the ball off Aberdeen and go forward.
And to be fair, Aberdeen have actually nicked it a couple of times.
That's what I was about to say. On the other side, Bevan's been, Bevan, the centre back, has been caught a couple of times from Olasanya, because the one thing that Olasanya can do very well is rat and hunt and get the ball back. So I think, and then that caused for the next 5-10 minutes, Dundee then go a little bit more direct, because it's like, right, okay, we don't want to give them that opportunity. That's why the game's been swinging both ways, because both teams are actually trying to work out what is the best way. They're not just sticking to one way and going, yeah, this is us, this is what we do. It's like, right, how is best to win this game? Is it a long ball? Well, it might be right now. Is it a cross? Yeah, well, it might be right now. Later on, it might be a pass into feet for a shot. So it's been a really entertaining game, and like I think I said to Alan commentary, it's just an old school 4-4-2 v 4-4-2. You know, that's for me what football is, and the fans have obviously been wanting us to have a very entertaining game of football. All we need now is some goals, right enough.
Yeah, we're hoping so, and they're back underway at East End Park. We'll just get a wee update from John Roberts in a couple of minutes' time, but stay tuned for full second half commentary and Sports Sound from Pittodrie.
Hey Grant, you know how we're hosting Radio Scotland afternoons at the Edinburgh Festivals this month?
Yes, Arlene, I'm aware of this.
Well, the festivals cover a wide range of the arts. Do we have any comedians booked?
We've got Susie McCabe.
Any poetry?
Well, there's Richard Marsh.
How about music?
How about Showstopper, the musical?
Ah, but is there anyone who combines all three?
Music, poetry and comedy. MC Hammersmith?
My word, it's almost like someone has thought about all of this and planned meticulously.
From theatre and books to the Royal Mail buskers, we'll bring you the best in music, arts, entertainment and culture from Scotland and beyond.
Radio Scotland afternoons at the Edinburgh Festival.
Starts Monday from 1:30 on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, back underway at East End Park. Dunfermline Athletic against Ross County. Let's cross there now and hear the latest from John Robertson.
Yep, we're just in the search. The first booking of today goes to John Todd. A quick kick from Brad Foster there caught them out. Adam Emsley was racing away. Todd just pulled them to the ground, much to their frustration. But it's a repeat of the first half. Ross County have come out the traps again. They're playing really well. knocking the ball about. The Pars fans are a bit frustrated, but it's still 0-0. We're 5 minutes into the second half. It could be a long afternoon.
It could be. John will bring us any goal news there from East End Park, but time to get back to our first commentary of the day. Aberdeen against Dundee with Richard Foster and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Kenny. Dundee already back out and in their half of the pitch as Aberdeen likewise make their way down the tunnel and onto the field of play. Just trying to check for any changes that might be happening, but it doesn't appear so at this stage. Looks like we're going to stick with the sides that finished the first half, which did include a change from the start with Finn Robertson having come on for the stricken Simon Murray in that first period for Dundee, but otherwise they're going to be unchanged for the start of the second period, with extra time and penalties looming possibility. Remember, we've got live coverage later from Paradise of Dundee United against Celtic also in this League Cup second round, so it will be Aberdeen to kick us off. They will go from left to right for this second period as we look at it from the back of the main stand, and it's launched long by Muller for Nisbet, and then Telu was just caught there at the edge of the box, and Aberdeen, not for the first time in the game, have got a free kick in a pretty handy position. This one's just maybe 5 yards outside the penalty area, left to centre, but it's one that Kevin Nisbet fancies.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think he could hit this one. I think it's narrow enough, it's close enough in. They've not really had much success from the floatier ones that Ronan's been putting in, so just go and get us. Basically, he should be hitting this on target and try and go and someone either get across the front of the ball to put the goalie off, or go and get on the rebound if he saves it.
Yeah, so Nisbet, the only man standing over this one. Connor Ronan has stepped away, so it looks like it will be an effort on goal here in the opening minute. It's off the top of the wall and behind for a corner.
Here's a question for you, Al. If this game continues the way it is and Aberdeen continue playing well, but they ultimately lose the game, do you think Aberdeen fans will be happy because the performance has been better?
That is a good question. One I'm not sure I know the answer to. I suspect not. But yeah, I mean, they have played, certainly in that first half, they played well. Let's see how the second half goes, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, as the corner's taken near post but headed away. That was a Kenny McIntyre-esque question from you there, Richard.
Sorry.
As Aberdeen continue to build left-hand side, it's Yogan onto the right foot, curls it in, it's over Bevan, but Ashley was there to help out his centre-back partner. Comes to Ronan left-hand side, Bevan's there this time to head it clear. Dundee being forced to work hard to keep Aberdeen out at the start of this second half, and Nisbet's won another corner off Oritayo on the right-hand side this time. Certainly the Aberdeen fans pleased with the way their side have started the second half as well.
I think against this zonal defending, just float one up and allow your players to go and attack it, because the zonal players can't move, whereas you're whipping them in and it gives them a chance to go and win the ball.
Here's Ronan from the right-hand side. Out comes Goodman, two-fisted punch comes to Yogan, who'll play it back out to Ronan. Outside of the right boot, it's not a bad ball, and a bit of indecision there. Well, not from Ashley, to be fair. He just took charge of the situation. Perhaps Goodman didn't shout for it, but Goodman was coming. Yeah. Ashley with a good header in the end.
It's actually very good defending. If you don't know, you're unsure, just clear the lines and they can chat about it later.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent philosophy. Cadden now with the throw in from the right-hand side, just a few yards from the corner flag. Up goes Wesley to head clear.
It's one of those short, long ones. Didn't even get it to the 6-yard box.
It is, in fairness, as I mentioned earlier, they've not got a massive run-up on this Pittodrie pitch, have they? That little bit in between the stand and the pitch is pretty narrow. Anyway, Dundee have picked up, played 3 minutes of the second period, still 0-0 as Mayo finds Olasanya into Aremu. Good play again from him. He has impressed. As I say that, he plays the ball too far in front of Chris Cadden.
You know what? It's a poor pass, but I don't know what Cadden's waiting for, because there's already a player behind him in that space, so he needs to make the run forward. Now, it's still a poor pass, but you know, he could have helped his teammate out a little bit more there.
Slight tweak, I think, from Aberdeen in the sense that it looks like Olasanya's out on the right and Telu's through the middle alongside Nisbet as Joe Bevan goes down again. And it's looks like he's picked up another head knock.
Yeah, I think he just gets the ball in the face when he goes to. I think he slips and the ball's cleared, but it's kicked off his face, I believe. But he looks okay. He's up again.
Yeah, it's just an accumulation of head knocks is not ideal. He's going to have to go off as well just to get treatment because the physio had already been waved on.
But to be fair, I'll see when it's a head knock, they can't, there's no. I don't want my physios to wait, get on the pitch, and then if he has to come off for a minute, he has to come off for a minute.
Play resuming with a drop ball. Oritayo has just hammered the ball out of play over on the far side. I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to do there, but Aberdeen will now get the throw in. Joe Bevan in the meantime is having to wait for a minute to come back on. Dundee physio's trying to argue his case, but that's the new law. As Cadden picks up right hand side into Ronan, back to Mayo, and then square for Happy. Almost 5 minutes gone in this second period. It's still goalless as it is at East End Park between Dunfermline and Ross County. Remu back to the halfway line to Mayo, just right of centre, plays it to Cadden. Dundee working hard to close down the options, continuing to force Aberdeen to play the ball about at the back. Now it's out to Yogan, though, left hand side, just drops the shoulder onto the right foot to the back post. Olasanya nods it back to Cadden. Cadden with a low effort. Nisbet for Olasanya, save. Nisbet on the rebound, goal! Aberdeen in front, and it is that man Kevin Nisbet again, who's already scored half a dozen in this competition in the group stages, and there he is to mop up the rebound and knock the ball into the side netting. And Owen Goodman, for all his good work, is beaten at last. Kept out the initial effort, but he could do nothing about Nisbet's ultimate effort there. And it is Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0.
It's actually a brilliant finish in the end, Al. He doesn't have a lot of the goal to hit, but it just comes from a period of play where Aberdeen are moving the ball around side to side. They're trying to look for the space to get forward. He goes out to Yogan. It's too easy for him to come inside. He kind of scoops the ball up into the air. The left back of Dundee allows Olasanya to peel away from him, who heads it back to Cadden. It's just a smashed ball across, but if you notice, all the Dundee defenders are pinned in. The Aberdeen forwards can get the ball to feet, which happens. Comes back to Olasanya, who should probably do much better himself. The goalkeeper makes a save, and then Nisbet puts it in from a tight angle. But a good goal from Aberdeen's point of view. Well worked, because they were actually patient and they moved the ball around before putting it into the box.
An 8th goal of the season already for Kevin Nisbet. He has been on fire, and 7 of those now have come in the League Cup. So Dundee with some work to do here behind at Pittodrie, and Yogan picks up left hand side and stands up. It's a good ball away by Bevan. Owen Bevan getting his head to that one, breaks to Remu, edge of the box, plays it back away to Ronan. Now you can hear the Aberdeen fans in full voice as Ntello gets out to Cadden right hand side, swings in, another good ball. Olasanya's there just ahead of Nisbet, and it's over the top from Olasanya, but Aberdeen, they have got the breakthrough. And the mood around Pittodrie now is certainly a positive one.
Yeah, and again, this is brilliant play from Aberdeen. 1-2 touch play, not just content to go side to side. They're actually playing in the middle, they're probing, they get it wide. Cadden puts in a brilliant ball. All of a sudden, he just gets in Nisbet's way there. It's never a ball for him. He's running back, stretching for it, and Nisbet's running onto it. But fantastic play again from Aberdeen.
There's also been a goal at East End Park. Let's hear about it from John Robertson.
And it's no surprise he's gone to the visitors, and rightly so. A well-worked corner was played in. It was knocked out by the Pars defence initially, and it came out to Lewis Reid. The big centre half played it to the back post. Looked like there could have been a foul back there on Fraser, but Ross County played on, and McCarville just lifted it back into the box. Jamie Lindsay arrived to header it in from 8 yards. It's nothing more than the visitors deserved. It's Dunfermline 0, Ross County 1.
Thanks, John. Aberdeen leading by a goal to 0 here. And Dundee, who are on a 3-game winning streak against the Dons, going to have to come from behind if they're to extend that. Here's Yogan now, left-hand side, up towards the penalty area. Too much on it for Intello to get on the end of, but Cadden will keep it in, right-hand side, looks up, gets a touch, swings it in looking for Nisbet. It's away by Finnegan. Ronan's first to it, but then Wesley battling away. He's fouled by Ronan. It'll be a free kick to Dundee just outside their own penalty area. 9 minutes into this second period, and Aberdeen lead by a 1-0.
Yeah, good play from Yogan down the left there, but then he shrugs straight right out the way, and then you're just looking for him to burst into life and sprint to the ball. He seems to take an age to get himself going, and Dundee get back and then defend the box well.
Part of that 3-game losing streak against Dundee was the last time Dundee visited here. 3-2 defeat in February. I still feel like there could be more goals in this one. Certainly the amount of chances that were created in the first half. Dundee have won themselves a corner. Robertson trying to get the ball into the box, and it was deflected behind.
It just comes from a long switch of play, good switch of play, and then a positive run from Robertson into the box there. Early cross, defended well from Aberdeen.
Generally speaking, though, apart from that win in February, Dundee don't tend to do particularly well at this ground. As the ball's played to Ethan Hamilton on the edge of the box, his attempted shot is closed down by Mayo, who now comes forward, and the ball's out of play now for a Dundee throw-in. Yeah, I mentioned the Dundee record here is not particularly good one. The win here in February ended an 18-game run at Pittodrie without having won, which stretched back all the way to May 2004, when Aberdeen, featuring Richard Foster, lost 2-1. Man himself was on the score sheet.
Who was in the score sheet?
Yeah, he opened the scoring that day. You remember that?
I did. I was thinking of that when you were talking there, from about a yard out. And the ball was probably rolling in anyway, but I just stole my teammate's goal, John Stewart's goal. But yeah, that was my first senior goal.
Right, well, you remember it then. Steve Lovell scored the winner though for Dundee, featured on.
I was off by then.
Here come Aberdeen looking to extend their advantage. It's Olasanya into the feet of Intello inside the box. It's a lovely finish.
What a goal!
Sensational from the debutant on the spin. Just smashes it beyond the goalkeeper. Reminiscent of Joe Bevan's finish last weekend against Aberdeen. Absolutely no chance for Goodman on that occasion. Olasanya just rolled it in, and it is on the turn. Hammers it with her left foot beyond the keeper. It is Aberdeen 2, Dundee 0.
Oh, what a goal that is. Absolutely fantastic. Olasanya does so well in this little right channel. I thought he'd lost the opportunity to play the pass, but he rolls in a wonderfully weighted pass. Actually, to be honest, he should probably pass it to Yogan, who's standing at the back post free, but he just swivels and then unleashes this unstoppable effort. Brilliant play. In fact, he's part of the build-up as well. Into his feet, little layoff. Good turn, and that's an unbelievable finish. The only thing I will say is Dundee are really quite passive. Nobody really makes contact with the forward players. But absolutely fantastic goal that from Aberdeen. And that'll do his confidence a world of good.
Michi Intello on his debut, absolutely smashing in Aberdeen's second goal. And, well, what a difference a week makes.
I can confirm my goal was not like that, Al.
Well, they all count, but yeah, that was something special, and he's already endeared himself to the home fans here. Stephen Presley in conversation down there, no doubt pondering what he might do to alter this game, but certainly not going in his team's favour in this second half. He's got Alan Forrest among his he's not got massive options, you'd have to say, in terms of attacking changes you can make, as Happy gets up to head the ball clear, picked up by Wright midway inside the Aberdeen half. To his left is Riley. Good ball into the area. It's Joe Bevan, leaves it there on the right hand side, and the offside flag goes up against Astley in the end, and it will be an Aberdeen free kick in any case, but Astley couldn't hit the target from a narrow angle. It was a
You should actually go back to Bevan.
Yeah.
He cuts that back. Bevan's got an opportunity on his weak side right enough. I know he's offside, but Aberdeen just need to watch that. You know, done so much good work, get themselves 2-0 up. They've been quite weak at the back post on the second phase of set plays the whole day. So, you know, you don't want to give Dundee an easy way back in, especially when you've worked so hard to get 2-0 up.
Goal kick taken. It's just short of the hour mark. Aberdeen leading by 2-0. Ross County a goal up at East End Park. That will not please Neil Lennon. Dunfermline were, this is the League Cup, but expected to be even more of a force this season. But Ross County of League One now. A goal up away at the Pars as Dundee here look to get themselves a goal back. It's Drewright, good ball into the box. Happy's first to it. Wesley can't get there for the second ball either. Now Nisbet deep in his own territory has lost it. It's Wesley for Hamilton now wearing the armband after Murray's departure. He's lost out at the edge of the box and he drags Ronan to the ground. It'll be an Aberdeen free kick, and everything it seems now going Aberdeen's way.
Yeah, and you know what? They've just increased the tempo. They've increased the tempo, how much they're running about. They've increased the tempo of the ball. The ball's moving much more quickly. Brilliant defending there from Ronan first with the block. Then he gets up, keeps the ball, wins the free kick. But you look at the difference in Dundee without Simon Murray. So I spoke about Robertson dropping into that 10 position, and he done it there on that attack. But then he goes wandering and wants to go and play. Whereas Simon Murray just gets in the box. So then now Aberdeen, the two centre-backs have just got Wesley in there. So it makes their job easier. So then now Dundee throwing balls in the box, it's not really going to work for them unless they're really accurate with the cross. But I would still like, even though, you know, he's not naturally a striker, get yourself on the half-turn, play forward and get in the box and cause problems for Aberdeen instead of wandering out wide to try and go and play.
Owen Bevan on the edge of his own box here. To his left is Oritayo, who's down under the challenge of Montello, and free kick is given.
He gets lucky there. I think he sees him coming and puts his body across and then just collapses.
Dundee have it at the back. Yeah, I mean, Stephen Robinson certainly pre-match, you could tell that you get the sense that he'd been irked by the noise over the last week that had come following that defeat. He was a little bit terse with even some of Tyrone's pretty reasonable questions. But the point he was making is, we've won our first 5 games. Yes, we had a bad day, and now they're kind of putting that right. They're showing what they're about.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, you know, he knows what he's doing. He's a good manager. He's had a lot of success with St Mirren. He's come to Aberdeen, so he knows what he's got in the dressing room. He sees them every single day. He's seen the reaction. Now, he probably played down the reaction, because I would imagine the players were raging with themselves for the level of performance they gave. But you can see today there's been a huge reaction. Even in the first half when they never scored, just the reaction to run forward, to win second balls, to win tackles was there. And you look now, a different side completely.
Here they come looking for number 3, Ronan, blocked by Oritayo at the edge of the box, and he manages to get it clear. Dundee need the next goal in the game for sure, or else they are heading out of the League Cup's a competition. No, it's the last major silverware they won, but it was back in 73-74. As Yogan picks up left-hand side, up against right here. Trying to take him to the byline on the outside, cuts it back for Montello. Brilliant dummy goal! Fantastic. Kevin Nisbet once again! It's a goal of real quality once more from Aberdeen. Yogan from the left, the little dummy at the near post from Montello had the presence of mind to know that his strike partner was lurking, and Kevin Nisbet gets his second goal of the afternoon, his 8th in the League Cup this season, and his 9th overall. It is Aberdeen 3, Dundee 0.
Another absolutely fantastic team goal from Aberdeen. They work it down the left-hand side. Yogan just positive play, get at your fullback. Drewright's quick, but Yogan's got that extra yard on him, fires the ball in. You can quite clearly see that Montello gets a shout from Nisbet behind him. We spoke about the first half. Nisbet always goes to that penalty spot for that cutback. Dundee, because Montello's there and he makes the run forward, Dundee defence have to deepen. It creates a space. The Dundee defender midfielder can't get back to Nisbet. It takes a deflection, and another fantastic goal from Aberdeen.
I know Aberdeen were playing pretty well in the first half, but I do feel like the little tweak that I mentioned earlier on, Montello playing in that central area now, he's already combining well with Kevin Nisbet, isn't he?
Absolutely, and he looks more comfortable there. You know, he looks like he knows what he's doing a bit more. You see there, he gets his body in the way that the Dundee defender can't clear it. He just lets it over him. The one before where he scores a fantastic goal, he does look more comfortable in that position. I know Stephen Robertson said he can do it in other positions, but quite clearly he's a striker.
Here come Dundee looking to get back into the game. 10,018 is the crowd this afternoon, and the vast majority of them enjoying what they're seeing. Not so the pocket of Dundee fans over on the far side, below whom Charlie Riley will take this corner kick. Well, I said they needed the next goal. They absolutely need the next goal, Dundee, but this game might well already be beyond them. There is just over 25 still to play though, as Riley swings in the corner. Up goes Ashley, can't get the header goalwards, and Aberdeen get it out of the penalty area. Dre Wright trying to keep it alive. It's a good ball for Joe Bevan. Back to Riley. Riley taken out there, but play allowed to continue with Ethan Hamilton in possession. Now it's Finnegan. Everyone back just about behind the ball for Aberdeen as Guinness Walker makes the interception. Ronan picks up on the left hand side, sends it forward looking for Yogan. Dre Wright had read that one though, and Dundee pick up again. Again it's Cadden though, first two. Aberdeen, unlike last week, our first two, so many loose balls, and all the positivity that was being sent Stephen Presley's side's way is going to be directed towards Aberdeen this afternoon, as Stuart Armstrong prepares to come on here for Conor Ronan. And there's going to be more changes actually, because
Breedle coming on as well.
Yeah, Breedle coming on, and it's going to be the debutant and goal scorer Michi Ntello, who's going off to a standing ovation from the Aberdeen fans, having scored a fabulous goal just 10 minutes ago to make it 2-0, and it's now 3, and he played his part in that third goal as well. So a double change from the Dons as on come Armstrong and Breedle.
I think they're going to a 4-2-3-1 now with Armstrong behind Nisbet.
Here's Guinness Walker left hand side, right footed ball into the box, away by Astley, out for another throw in on that far side. Aberdeen in possession. It is Breedle coming forward, just caught late there. Guinness Walker's done well to keep it in, and then fouled Dre Wright, so it will be a Dundee free kick deep in their own territory.
Yeah, the difference in Aberdeen from last week has been quite stark, but it's just been more aggressive. They've been more on the front foot. They're going into tackles, you know, expecting to win them. They're not shying away from, you know, winning their duels. The headers there, you see Big Happy going up, but you see the position at Aremu. Happy goes up to win the header, Aremu's ready to cover, and then they play the ball forward, and Dundee don't know what to do here.
It's Yogan left hand side, teases it in, keeper should come and take that, and he does, and immediately launches it looking for Wesley, but he's not going to have a chance of getting on the end of that. Alan Forrest going to come on for Dundee here as Muller gets it to Cadden, and goes back the way to Happy, and then Breedle back to his goalkeeper. Just about a quarter of the game left to play. Aberdeen leading by 3-0. Dunfermline 0, Ross County 1, and Dundee United Celtic still to come. Live commentary of that one from Tannadice just in a little while, just over an hour till kick-off, as Alan Forrest waits to make his entrance. In fact, there could be a couple of changes coming here for Dundee as they come forward here. Bevan will try and get on the end of it, but Guinness Walker's there ahead of him under pressure, but managed to win inside the throw-in as Guinness Walker played it off Joe Bevan.
To be fair, the linesman got it right. It does touch Bevan, but again, much more assertive play from Guinness Walker. You know, he makes contact early with Bevan, doesn't allow him to get a free run. He's always in control of the situation, and then wins aside a throw-in. his 1v1 defending today has been excellent, considering where he was last week.
So Forrest and Jean Bashir are coming on. It's the two wide men who are going to depart, Charlie Riley and Joe Bevan, and that's an illustration of how this game has gone. And those two players for Dundee, Riley and Bevan, were so influential in the victory at Dens Park, but they haven't been able to make a similar impact this afternoon, and their side trailed by 3-0 with just over 20 minutes left to play. It looks like Aberdeen are going to join Kilmarnock in the quarter-final of the League Cup. Will Ross County be there as well? Here's Breedle just inside Dundee territory, forward by Aremu. Lovely little ball out from Olasanya to Cadden. Goes for the 1-2 for Armstrong, and then Odetayo slides in, and it's come back last off Cadden, says Nick Walsh.
Yeah, probably right. Good play again from Aberdeen. Olasanya, Armstrong just kind of walking around him, picking up decent pockets of space.
So a goal kick taken, and Goodman brings it out of the penalty area. Robertson now playing left-hand side for Dundee. Bashir just off Wesley, and Forrest out on the right-hand side. But as good as they were last week, we do feel like that. If you look at that bench for Dundee, they need a bit of help there if they're to have a good, positive season.
Absolutely. Stephen Presley spoke about it, didn't he, before the game, and there's still a few players light of what he wants the squad to look like. And you see that, they've struggled today, especially second half. Aberdeen have been by far the better side, and they've got nothing to really change it.
Astley back to his goalkeeper. It's just going to get there before Yogan can get there. It was a little bit precarious for a minute. We'll head to East End Park for another update in just a moment. As last we heard, County were leading the hosts by 1-0. Here it is, the hosts Aberdeen, who look like they're going to prevail with a handsome 3-goal advantage with under 20 to play. Lovely turn from Hamilton on the edge of the box, and he goes for a goal, and it's over the top. Well, he couldn't finish it off because it's an unbelievable step over at the edge of the box. Lovely bit of skill.
Yeah, part of me wanted him to score there just so we can remember the skill, because it's not an easy one to take. The ball's coming across him, and he managed to put his foot on top of it and does the old Zidane turn, as I would call that.
Yeah.
It's got another name now, Al, but I don't know what it is, but to me it's the Zidane turn.
Absolutely, that's as good a name as any. Let's head to East End Park. John Robertson.
That's an equaliser against the run of play, it's got to be said, but Dunfermline have thrown the changes on here. Neil Lennon's thrown all 5 on, and it's a couple of substitutes there. Lobban and Morrison worked a little 1-2. The ball was cut to the back post, and there was Alan Oberworth at the back post to slam it into the net. It's against the run of play, but the Pars fans don't care. It's Dunfermline 1, Ross County 1.
Thanks, Robbo. Dylan Lobban, I think that's his debut for Dunfermline, having just signed a new contract here at Pittodrie, but out on loan to East End Park, and that looks like it should be a good addition. Here come Aberdeen again, looking for further goals. Already got 3. It's Olasanya who want his name on the score sheets. Going to come back the way to Aremu. Just slowing it down. Square to Guinness Walker, and then out to Yogan. Left-hand side, up towards the angle of the Dundee box. Swivels, pirouettes, waits for Guinness Walker, and then goes back the way instead to Breedle. And Aberdeen, they've done the bulk of the work here. They just need to remain composed, which they are doing right now. Cadden into Armstrong, tries to feed Olasanya again. Maybe Olasanya wasn't quite ready for the quick thinking of Armstrong there. Armstrong gets it back to Cadden. So good in tight areas. Armstrong still got that quality. And eventually Happy goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, who's midway inside his own half. And then he'll clip it down the right-hand side, looking for Cadden, but it's too much on that. And out for a throw into Dundee. We've played 28 minutes in this second period. It's Aberdeen 3, Dundee 0, and it would take the house to fall in pretty much here for Aberdeen not to progress.
Yeah,
at this stage,
because they're showing great control as well, Al, when they've got the ball. Even now with their shape, kind of 4-5-1, 4-2-3-1. They just sit in. They're allowing Dundee to keep the ball deep. They're not allowing Dundee to go through the middle of them. They'll fancy defending from wide areas because they've only got one striker in the middle. And it's been a really, the second half from Aberdeen has been fantastic in both aspects, attacking and defending. The problem with Dundee have is, because Aberdeen have been so good going forward, whenever Aberdeen have got the ball, they don't press properly, Dundee, because to press properly you need to go man for man at the back, and they're unwilling to do that because they know the threat that Aberdeen pose.
Here's Forrest driving into the box, just stumbles, maybe just took a little nick before he went down, but certainly
he tripped over his own feet.
Just knocked away from him in the end anyway, and out for a throw-in, which is taken. Dundee have it, right hand side, Finnegan for Hamilton. Hamilton gets the head up, plays it out to the left hand side to Robertson. Oritayo offers himself on the outside. Robertson comes back inside and switches it back out to Forrest, right hand side. Into Bashir here, edge of the area, leaves it to Finnegan. Finnegan about 25 yards from goal, onto the right foot. He goes for a goal, and that's a good stop from the goalkeeper. Muller pushes it over the crossbar, just shifted it there, Finnegan, and got a good shot off. Looked like it was just going to dip under the crossbar, but for the tip over from Muller, and it's still Aberdeen 3, Dundee 0.
Again, good patient play from Dundee, and it's a decent strike. It's just right at the goalkeeper, right over the top of him, so it's an easy enough save for him to make. But Aberdeen don't want to sit too deep. You look at that Stuart Armstrong there, he's 2 yards off the edge of his own box. He needs to be a bit more proactive, be a bit higher up to stop the shot.
Corner kick to Dundee then, right hand side, 3-0 they trail into the last quarter of an hour. Header comes in, it's a weak one. Muller's punch isn't convincing either though. Dundee trying to keep the pressure on here. If they could get a goal back, you never know, but not on this occasion, as Yogan helps it out of the area. Be picked up by Dre right here, still just inside the Aberdeen half. Out to the right it goes. Robertson back to Dre right once more at the edge of the centre circle, then plays it to the left to Oritayo, back to Dre right on the halfway line it comes once more or less on the centre spot. Back to the left to Oritayo, just plays it forward. Dre right's come onto the left hand side now. Back in field he comes, looking for a pass. Astley's the preferred option, then out to Forrest, right hand side. Finnegan goes round him, Forrest comes inside away from Guinness Walker, can't find room for the shot, and then Yogan is there ahead of Hamilton as Forrest tried to play the pass, and it's out for a throw-in over on the far side. Aberdeen are going to make another change here, and it's going to be Ayub Mulua to come on, and he's going to replace Kevin Nisbet, so there will be no hat-trick this afternoon for Kevin Nisbet, who passes the armband on to Stuart Armstrong, and indeed Tony Yogan looks like he's going to come off as well to be replaced by Lewis Smith. So Aberdeen make another double change as they look to see out this victory. 13.5 to play. It's Aberdeen 3, Dundee 0.
I think those subs, I'll just highlight the difference in the depth of squad between the two. Aberdeen are bringing on Lewis Smith, fantastic player, really exciting player once he gets himself going. Dundee don't really have that same strength and depth as of yet.
No, they don't. The players remaining on the bench now are largely all sort of 17-year-olds or thereabouts. I'm sure they will be given an opportunity because Dundee tend to do that. We've been bemoaning clubs not doing that as Robertson sends in a corner from the right hand side. It comes to Finnegan, just couldn't get the shot away. He might still, squeezes it to Hamilton instead, and it's just over the top. And Dundee have had their chances in this game, but they haven't been able to take them, and that's why they're on the wrong end of a scoreline that reads Aberdeen 3, Dundee 0 with 12.5 to play.
He's just leaning back there, but it's around about that time, and if they score just now, there'll be a real nervousness that creeps in, because you can see it a little bit with Aberdeen because of the result last week. I mean, they've got no need to feel nervous because this is on course for winning 6 out of 7 games, but they're a bit fragile when the ball goes in their box there. And someone with the left foot of Ethan Hamilton, he should be hitting the target there. That's a good chance for him.
It is, yeah. He's shown what he can do with that left foot. The goal at Celtic Park still stands out in the memory, but not this time. So still 3-0 to the home side here. 1-1 at East End Park. That might be heading for penalties. It could be a later journey up the road for John Robertson. unless there's a late winner in that one. Cadden looking to take a quick free kick here. He's not been allowed to, but the referee is now going to come over and get his spray out. And Stuart Armstrong instead is going to come and take the free kick from the right-hand side, just a few yards in from the touchline, about 25 yards from the goal line, as the Aberdeen fans get to their feet and show their appreciation for what they're seeing, as Armstrong with the right foot swings it towards the back post, looking for Happy, but he's beaten to it by Finnegan. It's going to come out to Guinness Walker, left-hand side, up against Hamilton. Just caught by Hamilton, still got possession though, and finds Breedle, but Finnegan comes across, breaks back to Guinness Walker, left-hand side, bundling his way through a couple of challenges, but not the third. Finnegan picks up once more, plays it out to the right of the box to Forrest, who just sweeps it forward, but out of play. And well, it looks like a lost cause now for Dundee. 10.5 to play, and they are still 3 goals down.
Yeah, you know, you can just see the energy and the life just dripping out of them, because they know, I mean, that chance there, it goes in, you've got, you know, it's going to be nervous for Aberdeen, but they miss another opportunity, and Aberdeen have still got so much going forward.
Yeah, and some nice link-up play involving Smith and Armstrong there. Here's Lewis Smith, edge of the box, goes for goal, straight at the keeper. Good hold from Owen Goodman. Has been another goal at East End. Who's it for? John Robertson.
And it's for the visitors, and it's bizarrely against their enough play, because since they equalised, Dunfermline have created 3 or 4 great chances. Ollie Shaw headed over, Todd had a header saved, and then Morrison had a brilliant strike, brilliantly saved for Brad Foster. But Ross County have come down the other end. The ball was played forward, it was knocked back from Dunfermline defence. It was just played first time over the top for Richard Chin. He ran through, he let it bounce once, and then he volleyed it past Oxenborough from 18 yards. 86 minutes gone. Dunfermline 1, Ross County 2.
Not long to go then in that one, as County look like they're heading for the hat, and Aberdeen look like they will be there as well, with a 3-goal advantage here at Pittodrie, albeit there's still just under 9 minutes to play now, as Breedle comes forward, and it's Smith, right-hand side of the box, onto that left foot, blocked by Hamilton. Armstrong goes for goal, blocked by Wesley. Everyone wants on the score sheet for Aberdeen this afternoon. It's going to come to the back post for Cadden. Can't cut it back to a teammate. Odetayo in the way. He just clips it into Bashir. Good challenge though by Aremu to win it. Angle of the box, laid off by Malua to Lewis Smith. This time it's blocked by Owen Bevan. Comes to Aremu once more, still inside the box, stands it up, but it's straight to the keeper, and it will be comfortable, that one, for Owen Goodman to take. But well, Aberdeen, what we said pre-match, that last week it could have been, it was 2 going on 3, 4, 5. Aberdeen could have had 5 quite comfortably this afternoon.
Absolutely, and you know, like I said, Dundee are kind of devoid of ideas now. They don't know, are we going to pass? Are we going to? We don't really have the option to go long. Aberdeen are really aggressive from the press. That's Aremu there, who's one of the you know, the 2 6s. He's up on the edge of the box, dispossessing the Dundee player there, and he starts the attack. And obviously, just a little lack of quality at the end, and they don't get anything from it. But it's been an absolutely fantastic display from Aberdeen. In the first half, they earned the right to then go and win the game in the second half.
Dre Wright, right-hand side, crosses very deep. Cadden there ahead of Robertson to knock it out of play. Dundee throw, just about 7.5 left at Pittodrie. Dundee heading for the exit door. They've got a derby match next up against United. I think that's maybe the only game remaining in the Premiership next weekend, with most of the others at least postponed because of the club's various involvement in European football. But well, Dundee Derby will take centre stage for sure. That one's at Tannadice, so interesting to see how Stephen Presley's side get on. Odetayo into Robertson, left-hand side, just keeping it in play. Cadden though has won it from him, then goes again. Great engine Chris Cadden's got as he drives over the halfway line. Still going. It's Stuart Armstrong now, edge of the box, and he pick out a teammate. Not sure who he saw at the back post there, but Malua's done him a favour by sliding and keeping it in play over on that far side. Then the 1-2 with Olasanya gives him a bit more work to do. Gets it back to Aremu. Then Cadden into Armstrong, goes for goal off the post. I think the keeper might have got a very slight touch on that to take it onto the post. It's another good move in the end, and Armstrong's so unfortunate not to add his name to the score sheet. It remains Aberdeen 3, Dundee 0.
Like the touch and take on the turn there from Armstrong was absolutely brilliant. You know, he does it all in the one motion. He gets a decent shot away. It does look like the goalie gets a little touch on it. It's a fantastic save. Good play game from Aberdeen. I felt like in the moment before when they're attacking, the two in the middle don't really give Armstrong an opportunity. But the striker goes and he revives the ball. Another good play and a fantastic effort off the post.
Yeah, Armstrong's looked really sharp since coming on. And here he is with the corner, swings it in, away by Astley. 5 to play at Pittodrie. Aberdeen leading by 3-0. Good value for it, you'd have to say. First half was certainly pretty closely fought, and they couldn't be separated at half-time. But Aberdeen have made the most of their chances in this second half. A couple of them taken by Kevin Nisbet, the other scored by their debutant in Michi Tello. And here they are in possession. It's Guinness Walker. Rather loose ball forward though, picked up by Astley, forward into the feet of Wesley. Right hand side is Forrest, still midway inside his own half, has to come back to his goalkeeper Goodman, just on the edge of his own 6-yard box, plays it out to Ethan Hamilton, spins and looks forward.
Goalies are special, aren't they now? Like, you're 3-0 down and you're rolling the ball with the sole of your foot. Like, you know what I mean? Just kick the ball forward, would you? What are you doing? The one in the first half down the Rabona. I mean, just different.
Here's Dre Wright, forward for Forrest, right hand side of the box. Good ball in, Happy clears though. Out for a throw-in over on the far side. Dundee certainly not going to make any inroads into the League Cup any further as Aberdeen make the final change of the afternoon with Finlay Marshall about to come on for his third appearance of the season. It was a really good season at Arbroath last campaign. He replaces Aremu in the heart of the midfield. Aremu's impressed, doesn't he, Rich?
Absolutely. I think he's got a bit of everything. Composure, aggression. You'll go on headers, you'll break the game up, you'll battle and scrap for the ball. He's got good quality, good range of passing. He's got a very, very good strike on him, and he looks like he could be a really good player for Aberdeen. He's kind of strolled through the game today, but he's been really, really impressive. As have most of the Aberdeen players, to be honest.
Robertson for Dre Wright. He couldn't find a teammate though. Olasanya for Lewis Smith. Lewis Smith didn't fancy his chances there, and I think he was the offside flag's gone up in the end. He just seemed to check his run, which allowed the goalkeeper to get there first, but the flag was up. So
yeah, I think he was just off. So I think he's trying to keep himself onside. It's actually a brilliant run, almost as a dummy run. I think then all of a sudden you could go and then find someone else to play forward, but the pass was over anyway.
It was. We've got just about 2 minutes left in this one. Aberdeen well in control, leading by 3-0. 2-1 Ross County led. I'm not heard if that's actually a full time as yet, because there wasn't a lot of time remaining last we heard from John Robertson. But looks like the League One side were going to take their place in the last 8, as Aberdeen have a throw in here. Cadden into Malua. And Armstrong looking to get it back from Smith. Dundee still battling away in the middle of the park. Hamilton tripped there seemed. Yeah, the referee's going to bring that back. No advantage really accruing, so free kick to Dundee. But it's all rather academic now, with Aberdeen leading by 3-0 in the final stages of this game.
Well, that's a hell of a pass from Hamilton there. I mean, he needs to pull his socks up right enough, but it's an unbelievable pass.
We're going to have 2 minutes added on at the end, plus the 1 minute of normal time that we've got left to play. Dundee have got themselves a corner after that pass that Richard was talking about, and it comes. Aberdeen keen to complete the clean sheet, and Finnegan's effort from the edge of the box isn't going to trouble the keeper. He's got a twinge of cramp there, having taken that shot on, but couldn't hit the target, and it remains Aberdeen 3, Dundee 0.
Yeah, that probably just sums up Dundee in the attacking sense. You know, for the full game, really, they haven't had much in the second half. They've had little moments here and there, but over the piece, they've just not had the quality in the top end of the pitch to go and trouble Aberdeen. Whereas on the flip side, Aberdeen have been very good going forward.
Stephen Robinson will have every right to be
smug.
I was just looking for the correct word there, and I think smug. Yeah, I'm sure he won't want to come across as smug, but he'll feel that he's answered a few questions there with the performance of his team.
Yeah, but I think when I listened to him talk, he knew that this was in there. He knew this level of performance was there. Because he sees the players every day, and last week was probably just a bad week. I know they never really played well against Hearts, but they come out and they win 2-1. But I just think, when you earn the right to play, when you run, tackle, win second balls, close down space, and you've also got a lot of quality in your side, if you do all the fundamental bits, you're going to be a good side. And today they've been absolutely excellent. They've run Dundee into the ground. Dundee kind of threw the best of them in the first half. Aberdeen dealt with it, and then they stepped up again in the second half. The goals obviously give them so much more confidence. But this, if you were to show the Aberdeen players this performance and show them last week, the difference is stark.
Certainly is. Ross County are through to the quarter-final, having beaten Dunfermline by 2-1. We'll get a full-time report from John Robertson just shortly. We are into a couple of minutes of added on time here. We're in the second minute of that already, and
fantastic result for Ross County.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Astley into Forest. Aberdeen deservedly criticised for last week's performance, but they should be praised for what they've produced this afternoon, as Richard has been. And
but the difference, Al, is last week the level of performance, they're all talking about how terrible it is and it's a disaster and where we're going to go this season and what's going to happen. Will we have the same level of superlatives thrown at them this week because they've been excellent? No. You won't be saying, Aberdeen are going to go and win the league, they're going to challenge Celtic and Rangers. No. So that's why there has to be a lot of perspective. Stephen Robinson's right in that, and we're going to praise them today because they've been excellent, but now they've set their own standard. This is the level they need to try and achieve every week.
Dundee looking to get a consolation in the dying seconds here. It's Robertson at the back post, sends it back into the middle. Lewis Mayo with a clearance, but it's not to be, and Aberdeen answer their critics with a resounding 3-goal victory. All the goals coming in the second half after a relatively even first period ended goalless, but they got the early breakthrough in the second half. Perhaps crucially, that early breakthrough, as Richard said, improving the confidence as much as anything else. It was Kevin Nisbet on the rebound after Olasanya's shot was saved initially, as Nisbet got his first goal of the afternoon. It was swiftly followed by a debut goal by Michi and Tello. Olasanya just rolled the ball into him, and he swivelled inside the box and hit it first time, a smashing finish with a left foot high beyond the goalkeeper to make it 2-0. And on 63 minutes, Nisbet got his second and Aberdeen's third. It was a wonderful move. Yogan started it on the left-hand side. His ball into the box was dummied by Tello, and there was Kevin Nisbet with the aid of a deflection to send it high past the goalkeeper for his 9th goal already this season. 8 of them have come in this competition. He is certainly enjoying life in the northeast just at the moment, and helping his side to a 3-goal victory. Armstrong hit the post late on, might well have been a fingertip save by the goalkeeper, who played well actually despite having lost 3 goals. Dundee didn't get to the same levels as they hit last weekend against Aberdeen. Aberdeen, on the other hand, whose manager Stephen Robinson is going around the pitch applauding the fans, who many of whom have stayed to applaud him and the players as well, rightly so. And they have deservedly moved in to the quarter-finals of the League Cup as Dundee troop off, and they'll have to turn their attentions to the derby next weekend. But at Pittodrie this afternoon, it finishes Aberdeen 3, Dundee 0.
The Scottish League